Video 1, Part 2. SC, SC, SG. Go, back, back. Make a jump around there. Crap. Okay, guess I was moving in the wrong direction. I don't think I can't jump backwards. That's the problem. I have to jump and then turn around in mid-jump to switch directions like that. Yeah, you gotta switch directions in mid-air. Hup! There we go. You just press up to mantle. There you go. Careful! That crap. Enemy placement can be pretty nasty in this game. Although, like I said, it's not that hard. Boop! Over here! Ah, crap. Ah. Ah, crap. Nope, that won't work. At least the run button gives you a bit more distance on your jumps, I want to say. Wonder if I'm invincible during any of my flipping. Because that might keep me from getting shot by those arrows. Whoop, missed that red gem. That's okay. And there's the scarabs. I should be able to get an extra. I should be able to get a bonus round, right? Just like the Sega Genesis version. I don't remember what happens if you land on the genie. So let's play the Wheel of Fortune. We're not going to talk about the ludonarrative dissonance here because we haven't even met Genie yet. You know, whatever. Of course, if you played the Genesis game, I mean, there were like these little genie pots that served as waypoints. That's another issue entirely. Yay, I got more hearts. Actually, I want to say if you land on the genie, you get like a longer life bar. Like, I think you get more hearts. Like you get a 5th heart, something like that. Come on, right off the bat. This music is not great, but it'll do. But yeah, there's only 2 levels of parallax scrolling here, but when you get to the next level, there'll be 5 or 6 levels of parallax scrolling. A lot of Super NES games are kind of lazy with the parallax. I was, back in the day, I used to worship parallax scrolling. The more layers, the better. Like Adobe Acrobat or whatever. But now, I guess they figured that it was just easier to work with 2 scrolling backgrounds instead of, like, multiples. I'm not going to complain about that. Maybe it'd improve the speed of the game. Oh, come on. Garbage. But again, as long as I get a heart on the other side, I can take that hit. I never said this was a no-hit deathless run. So again, they decided to make a Mario platformer. You know, kids understand Mario games, don't they? But nothing as sophisticated as, like, you know, what was it, Super Mario World. I want to say, yeah, I think the Genesis version of this game, wow, there's a slowdown in this game. Anytime there's more than 3 moving objects, there's slowdown in this game. So get used to that. Authentic Super NES slowdown. Whoops. Anyone who grew up in the era knows what I'm talking about. The Super NES was ridiculously underpowered, but to be honest, I want to say the Genesis version, what was it? There it is. What was that game? The Jungle Book on the Super NES had no slowdown, as I recall. Pretty optimized engine, all things considered. Like, Dave Perry's engine seemed to be pretty sprightly as far as, like, not. I don't think there was any real slowdown, and I think there might have been a little bit of slowdown in Cool Spot. I think, yeah, Jungle Book I think was pretty clean. Lion King I think had no slowdown. I'll double check. But a lot of those Dave Perry Virgin Games titles had no slowdown on them, as I recall. They were, I mean, despite the jerky camera, I mean, they got the job done as far as, like, avoiding that problem that plagued so many Super NES games back in the era. Like, nearly all Super NES games, with any kind of serious activity, had slowdown in them. Can I climb this? Nope. Got the red gem. Don't know what it does, but I got it. Careful. Can't get them. Can't get them. That's fine. Dead end anyway. Avoided that entirely. Okay, that was some garbage. So I have to bait him into shooting high. Maybe that's what's going on. I gotta bait him into shooting high. Yeah, gotta bait him into shooting low and then jump over it or something like that. Got it. Woo! Okay, this should be the level where we get to check out the skyline. Once we get to the top. Okay, nothing in here. Boing. There it is. See, check out the levels of parallax in the background. It's like 4 flat layers, so they're kind of cheating a bit. Guess I forgot to jump. But yeah, this is what passed for spectacle back in the early 90s in a platformer. How many background layers do you have? We have all the background layers. There's probably some line scrolling tricks. It might just be like 2 scrolling backgrounds with like some line scrolling tricks. Depends on the game. Some games had like independent backgrounds, and some games just had like a bunch of flat background tiles that they scrolled at different speeds, so it looked like it was more layers than it was. If you remember Street Fighter 2 on the Super NES, they had line scrolling. So if you looked at the floor in like reuse stage or whatever, the planks on the floor would scroll with the perspective, in a perspective correct way. So it looked like a 3D scrolling floor. That's the line scrolling trick that I'm talking about. So some developers use that trick. So to give people the impression that there were more layers of background scrolling than there really were. Like I think if you were to break out an emulator, you can turn off the background layers and see how many actual layers are there. Because again, in a game like this, there might just be like 1 or 2. But they might fake the multiple levels of scrolling. If you want an example, look at any NES game. The NES, there are lots of NES games that have parallax scrolling. But the problem was, well, it wasn't really a problem, it's just sort of a reality. I thought there was a platform here. There it is. I could barely see that. That was a nearly blind jump. Whoop, there's the slowdown again. I saw that. But yeah, back on the NES, remember, there was no parallax scrolling that was innate to the platform. So if you played a game like Totally Rad, if you remember that game, I think it was called Magic John, the Famicom in Japan. The NES, the North American game called Totally Rad, had several levels with parallax scrolling in them. I forgot to bounce off that dude's head. That's okay. So the idea is that in a platform that didn't have parallax scrolling, you can fake it by doing line scrolling tricks to give people the impression of multiple backgrounds. I think it's like a, what do they call it? An interrupt trick. Like they would do these tricks and the Genesis would do this too. Games like Castlevania Bloodlines, I think, did this. They would give people the Adventures of Batman and Robin would do a lot of that. They would do lots of tricks to fake things like line scrolling and, you know. Again, they would do these tricks to give people the optical illusion that, you know, levels were scrolling independently. Or in the case of that Batman and Robin game on the Genesis, they would like give people the impression that, again, lines were scrolling in a 3D manner. Like they would scroll slowly they would scroll slowly on the bottom of the screen and then scroll quickly on the top of the screen. Or they would scroll slowly on the bottom of the screen. Or they would scroll quickly on the bottom and scroll slowly on the top of the screen. So it was the illusion of a line scrolling effect. Don't touch that guy's sword. So you have to bait him into swinging it and then jump on his head. Whoop. Or just do that. Say, there you go. But just don't touch the sword. This boss is kind of nasty. Look at him, Boo. Look at him go. Fight, fight, fight. I got your Street Fighter right here. Done. I should be able to beat him without taking a hit, but I haven't quite gotten the pattern down yet. Okay, where's the street mouse? Have I told you Aladdin's my favorite American animated film of all time? Because Spirited Away is not American. So we'll get around to that. I'm gonna have to do a full playthrough of this game later, but like, it's no big deal, really. It's just a thing. Password. We need a password. Yeah, it's got a great view. What was that thing? I want to say Magical Quest was the first Capcom Disney game they made. On the Super NES, anyway. And again, I want to say the art style was similar to the art style in Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which was a launch game on the Super Famicom, the Super NES. And then they brought out Magical, because I want to say the color, I want to say the art, basically the color work, just kind of looks similar to the backgrounds in Super Ghouls and Ghosts. A lot of the art and the assets kind of look like Super Ghouls and Ghosts in a way, and Mickey Mouse's Mickey Mouse's Magical Quest. But there was one other game. Yeah, I want to say there was like an arcade game, like King of Dragons might have had a similar look. Knights of the Round, maybe. Like, how do I describe it? It's like a look, like imagine if you're drawing a vine. The center of the vine would be like brown or black, but there would be a lot of fuzziness on the edges. Like the vines would be green, there would be a lot of fuzziness on the edges. Yeah, this is my favorite song in the game. Though the instrument selection is kind of weird, but it works. Ow! Crap. Yeah, but I'll let you listen to the music for a second. Whoops. So these platforms drop, then you can then you can jump on them to grab those gems. There you go. Cool. Ah, crap. Yeah, I knew this was a breakaway floor. Garbage. And kind of dicey here. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Okay, that's enough music. Okay. So the song's okay. Thanks, Abu. Blind jump. Remember this level being a lot harder than this. I want to say I died like 10 times to that first bit. With the falling stalactites. Y button to right on the rug? Or is it the... Oh well. Guess we're not jumped on the rug now. This is always one of my favorite bits of animation ever. Like I remember watching Aladdin in the theaters and being just blown away by the mime animation on that carpet. Just probably some of the best character animation I'd ever seen as a kid. And I watched a lot of Disney stuff back in the day. Just loving that animation. That was before the genie even showed up. So, I mean, I'll always remember how blown away I was by that art. Animation is not easy, kids. Ah, I got it. I figured that might be a dead end there. Get that bread. Whoops! Vine jumps, right? Game gets a bit harder now. Fair warning. I got 1 life left. Boop. Boop. Okay, how we doing? Guess I'm not gonna be able to get that red gem. That's okay. So I guess it's like a completionist thing. It's always one of the problems with games like this, that you have to make the game approachable enough for kids without making it too... I mean, like, of course, that didn't seem to bother Dave Perry and the boys, but... Whoops! You have to make the game approachable enough for kids, but not so easy that they completely don't even care about it anymore. But obviously that's not a problem, because does anyone think Turtles in Time is a hard game? It's probably everyone's favorite game as a kid from back in the day. So that's my Elden Ring commentary for the day. Everyone played the Konami code. Everyone had Nintendo Power. Everyone had the 63-man code for Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You know, whatever. Whoops! Yeah, great. Yeah, pull the rope. We are going to continue this time. Yeah, we'll come back and play a little bit of this game later. No! This is a research stream, basically. Aladdin is a game. It's a platformer. You rent it for $5, and if you're a grade schooler, you play through it, and it's charming enough for what it is. It doesn't exactly have it's not exactly Kingdom Hearts. You know, it doesn't have the spectacle of a Kingdom Hearts-like game. It's just move to the right, move to the left, jump on people's heads, swing from some platforms, and an hour later, you've completed the game. And you have a password. So, that helps. Let me go back. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else. Can I leave completely? Yes, just quit out. Quit. Cancel. Quit. No save. Okay, we're going to do a quick check on something. That was just an audio check. Watch a playthrough of this game? No, we're not going to do that. But let me do the bonus game check. This is the Game Boy version of Disney's, of the Virgin Games version of Aladdin. So again, in an interesting bit of hubris, I guess, Virgin Games got the rights to make a Game Boy version of the Genesis game. I think eventually the Game Boy version that Capcom made came out. I don't quite remember. I'll confirm that, but I want to say Nintendo Power confirmed that a Game Boy version of Capcom's Aladdin did come out. Again, cats and dogs living together. You might as well make a Sonic the Hedgehog game developed by NMS. I think they did the Lion King port, the Game Boy port of the Lion King. I'm not sure. We'll just mess around with this for a second. Practice. We'll talk about practice. But again, we're just gonna mess around with it. We're not gonna spend too much time with it. At least the camera should be more manageable than in the Genesis game. The Game Boy was always an odd system. Like, people complain about the Nintendo Switch being underpowered. Back in the day, you would try to make games like NBA Jam and Mortal Kombat on this console, and they never should have even thought about doing that. Like, you cannot make Street Fighter 2 on a Game Boy. It doesn't work. The characters can't move fast enough. The screen isn't responsive enough. You know, like, I played fighting games like Raging Fighter on the Game Boy. It can't do it. Now, if you streamline the fighting, make it more like Smash Brothers, I guess. I guess you can make it work. But this console couldn't, like a Nidhogg-like dueling game. Wait a minute. I was about to say, why did I throw an apple? Yeah, I threw an apple for some reason. Oh, yuck! Look at that, look at that, look at that jerky screen. Wow, I thought the camera was jerky on the Genesis version. Some of the animation run cycles look pretty good. Wow, this jump is like... Wow. Holy shnikes, this thing is awful. Like the jump is like it's like a geometric jump. It's like you're jumping like a triangle. Look at the jump physics on this. Well, at least you have some air control. That's good. But it's like it's like you're being jerked by a bungee cord in a way. Yeah, this is literally like a triangle going up and down. Yeah. Wow, a geometric jump. And it's really slow, too. Again, I don't know what people are expecting out of Game Boy games. I can't grab onto the... Hold on. There we go. And the animation cycles are here. It's just that they're really slowed down. It's like I'm playing the game in slow motion. This is like a kid saying, "Mom, I want Disney's Aladdin." And Mom's like, "We have Aladdin at home." This is basically the Aladdin they got. But you said you wanted Aladdin, but I wanted the real Aladdin. Yeah, ugh. God, Game Boy games were a mistake. Your boy likes Revenge of the Gator just fine, but... God, imagine playing this on the spinach green screen, too. Oh, Lord. Nope, can't jump any higher. Really sluggish, this port. Okay, enough. The other problem is your character has to flash so you know that they're invincible. I can't make this jump. And I died, probably. Yeah, I died. Wow, what a garbage game. I don't think I took a hit on that. Okay, so what's the strategy here exactly? So you're just supposed to play the game in slow motion? Is that how we're doing this? Holy crap, this is god-awful. Like, I mean, yeah, it feels like we're playing, like, a bootleg version of the Genesis game in slow motion. Like some bootleg... Yeah, like some bootleg Malaysian, Taiwanese, underground... What? Like, it's here, like, everything is here. It's just... It's like the cycles are here. It's like they were allowed to use the animation cycles from the from the original version games title. But they just slow everything down. Ugh. I mean, I know what they were trying to do, and they were trying to... They were literally trying to put the genie back in the bottle. That's what happened here. Like, you know you're a developer and you're like, yeah, yeah, you're a developer and you're like, yeah, they want us to make a Game Boy port. How? Well, make it move in slow motion. Make it a functional port. Like, my logic says, okay, shrink the sprites. But, like, if the action's not going to be fast enough, then it's like, okay, make it a different game. Like, make it like a... And make it like a Rygar, you know what I mean? Like a Rygar game. Like, completely change it, but take the skeleton of the original Genesis game, but kind of like make it more of a Metroid-like, I suppose. I don't know. They probably didn't have enough time. I mean, they made the original Megadrive game in like what, a week? They made it in like 6 months. Yeah, like I think they made it in like 4 months. It was like some ridiculously short turnaround. So they probably spat this Game Boy game out like 2 months later. They're like, yeah, just take the base. We'll give you the sprites. We'll give you the animation cycles. Just make it work on the Game Boy. We'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, I can't do this. If I were a kid, I might be forced to play it because I own it. SCSG. We'll come back to Aladdin, don't worry. Lord.